Hello, today we have Mikayla's Paht 2 from the Glamlite. She did a collab with Glamlite. So I've been using this palette for about the past 2 weeks, and it's alright. So let's talk about it. This is the outside of the box. We have this green box right here. It's very classy. It says Mikayla Paht 2. There's a picture of her on the back. She's a TikToker, I guess, like a beauty influencer on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. I don't really follow anything on TikTok. I chose this because I really liked the green colors. I'm kind of been going through a green phase for the past year or two. So if I'm not looking for yellow, I'm always looking for greens. And I thought this looked like a really nice, pretty palette. And it's one of the bigger ones. So this is the actual palette. So as you can see here, there's a reflection, but this does move. The golden side does move. You can hear that. I think that's pretty cool. It's very simple, very simplistic. I quite like that. Now, in terms of the size, here's the chocolate martini. It's, I guess, almost like 2 palettes big. It's almost 2 palettes big. As you can see, there's a little bit left. So it's not super big, but it's definitely bigger than their usual palettes. Open this up. So here we have the colors in her palette. I used every single one that's in here. I used all of them. And I think overall the census that I came to is that it's okay. It's got some really nice dark colors. Overall, what I was thinking when I was using this palette was what colors I was going to remove and take out. I think everything in this palette worked pretty much up to the level you think it should. It applied well, except for several few. So, for example, these three, and this green one up here called 13, while a beautiful mint color, it didn't work very well on my eyes. It was very patchy, and I was kind of bummed out about that. Other than those, everything else in this palette worked pretty well. Today I have Bro, Stabbies, and Beauty Kills on my eyes. I think all those worked very well. I wanted to note this top row, and especially something like these three and like Cloud 9. They did work well, but I did want to point out that they were exceptionally soft. They were quite a bit delicate to work with. They did end up working a little bit of roll on my brush and on my eyes, but not something that I couldn't work with, which is fine. Sometimes you'll get it chunky in the pan, and I don't really care what it looks like in the pan as long as when I apply it to my eyes it works. So once applied, it did work. I think this is also the first time we're going to get rid of a color just because I don't think it's a color I'm going to use. This Cloud 9, it was good. It worked fine. It applied lovely on the eyes, but I just don't see myself wearing this blue. It kind of has like a black base, and then the actual shimmer is like an aqua. And that's really cool and all, but I just don't see myself wearing a color like that. The rest of these they feel so classy. They really do feel like kind of gem colors for this palette. These 9 over here are definitely gorgeous jewel tones. So pretty. They really do feel like they would match jewelry that I have. I think the golds up here were alright. I don't think they were necessarily exceptional, but I don't think they were awful either. I think they worked pretty well. I think overall what I got from this palette, it's alright. I think we have to work with it a little bit more. I'm definitely going to be keeping this palette, but what I definitely will be doing, you'll see a video on that soon as well on my channel, I'm going to be depanning this palette, because I really don't want to keep colors that I'm not going to use. I'm going to swatch these two again before I get rid of them completely, just to make sure that I really do not want to use those colors, and depan them, and I'm going to be replacing colors that I like from the Margarita palette into this one, and then moving colors from this one into the Margarita palette so I can give away the Margarita palette. Overall, I think it was decent. I got some really, I think when I look at these colors, I get winter. I think that's why I'm thinking right now this doesn't really fit my vibe right now. I know we're going into fall, But when I look at these kind of darker colors, I'm thinking like winter colors. I want to wear these colors in December or January. So maybe during a different time, I think this palette would work better. But overall, I think it's a decent palette. This palette kind of reminds me of the Dirty Martini palette. I think there's some good shades in here, but overall not like ecstatically impressed. My favorite colors, I was quite surprised. I think these three worked really well. I think I was surprised with Dreams, but Dreams kind of reminded me of a color, I think Jalapeno in the Margarita palette. And in terms of like the jewel tones, ooh, I think I did a beautiful look with these purples, but I quite really liked the blue one as well. The blue one was intense. So let's just do a quick swatch of like, let's do 4 of my favorite colors. So I want to do these lighter ones up here. There's Glazed, Sparkly. Sparkly was so pretty. And again, these 3 are super soft. You can see kind of like the texture. Let's see if I can get some light. And then I'll do like, this is You. Wow, these are so soft. I think that's good. Look at that. Look at that intensity. Okay, let's see if we can do this. This one, Poppin', is definitely much more chunkier. It kind of reminds me of the Ofra sparkling toppers. We have, this is Sparkly, and then this is Glazed. Glazed is not as chunky as Poppin'. Poppin' has some more purple and blue sparkle in it. Glazed is just more of a true silver white. I don't know if you can catch that in the light. And these are very intense. Look at that. Look at the blue. I swatched the blue. It's still on my finger. Overall, I think this palette is very much more giving like winter colors. It's on some part a very intense jeweled palette. Don't think you have maybe as much variety as you'd want, but I really do appreciate, as a gal who loves shimmers, how many shimmers there are in this palette. I think if you want to try it out for yourself, and you're definitely into the easy access of, you got this whole line of greens, this whole line of purples, this whole line of blues, you've got your golds up here, and more greens and blues, and more purple leaning shades. If you're into this trio of colors along with some golds, I think this might be the palette for you. Thanks for joining me today and watching this video. Hope y'all have a great day.